is up, my magic miscreants? Risen Dragon here with a fun deck for you today, and today we are playing Mono White Lifegain, and we've played this archetype before. We've played it many times before. It's one of my favorite archetypes to play, and who can blame me? Some of these cards from Final Fantasy have really given me some really awesome pause to kind of look at and be like, hey, these are really good cards. The Wind Crystal being one of them. White spells you cast one less to cast. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. And for 4 and 2 white and you tap it, creatures you control gain flying and lifelink until the end of turn. Okay, now this deck uses a lot of cards that I think have kind of let go by the wayside. We're not running Resplendent Angel, for example, where we're not running that typical suite. Instead, we're looking at cards that I think have been long since abandoned, but now in this format, I think we can make them good. Leyline of Hope is one of those cards. If this card is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. If you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. And as long as you have at least 7 life more than your starting life total, creatures you control get +2/+2. Linden, the Steadfast Queen, because we're playing mono white with Vigilance. Whenever a white creature you control attacks, you gain 1 life. Okay? Aerith Gainsborough from Final Fantasy. Lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When Aerith dies, put X +1/+1 counters on each legendary creature you control, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on Aerith Gainsborough. So, we're running a few legends in this deck, like Arabo, the First Fang. Other cats you control get +1/+1. We're playing a fair amount of cats, so I think this is a fair one to have. Whenever Arabo or another non-token cat you control enters, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. Also 2. Zac Fair. It enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. We sacrifice it, and target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn, and then put that counters on that creature and attach an equipment that was attached to Zac Fair to that creature. So, we're not running equipment in this, but is there. Basri, Tomorrow's Champion. We exert Basri for 1 white and we tap it. Create a 1/1 white cat creature token with lifelink. If we cycle it, when we cycle the card, cats you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So those are the legends that we're running. Everything else is kind of, well, I don't want to say standard, but it is fairly common to see these. We're running 2 Authority of the Councils. Creatures your opponents control enter tapped, and whenever a creature an opponent control enters, you gain 1 life. Case of the Uneaten Feast. Whenever a creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. To solve, if you've gained 5 or more life this turn, we solve it and we can cast creature cards from the graveyard until the end of turn. Hinterland Sanctifier, kind of see this right here. Whenever another creature you control enters, gain 1 life. Leonin Vanguard, at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 3 or more creatures, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn and you gain 1 life. Of course, we gotta run a Johnny's Pride Mate. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and Sheltered by Ghosts, because we like to remove stuff. When the aura enters, scores exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. Creatures, or the enchanted creature, gets +1/+0 and has lifelink and ward. Fun stuff. Sideboard, Rest in Peace. Kind of defeats the purpose with Case of the Uneaten Feast, but with all the reanimation going on, this is a good one to have. Laran of the Third Path, because we like to destroy target enchantments and or artifacts. Raise the Past, because we like to bring stuff back from the graveyard. We have quite a few creatures that have less than 2 or more, so it's definitely in there. Sunfall, because we like to exile stuff, destroy evil, because destroying stuff is good. Invasion of Gobakhan, because pumping up our creatures and giving them hexproof after we sack it is a thing, and not on my watch, because I like to exile stuff. So, this is the deck. Hope you like it. This is a fun build. I really enjoy gaining tons of life and putting our game out of reach for our opponent as soon as possible. If you're new to my channel, we do a best of 1 and a best of 3, so you can see how the deck functions in either one of those environments. So without further ado, let's get to the legendary Lifegain games, kids. We're against Ice for our best of 1 matchup. Opponent goes first. We have some, oh man, we got options. We have options here, kids. Get another land or 2, and we're in good shape. We're going to keep. Turn off the TVs, turn off the light. Oh, we're playing mono red because that's what happens in best of 1. Just gonna throw this down, and they're gonna zap it, and then we're gonna. I have to kill my kitty, man. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Just gained a little bit of that life back. How fun is that? And then you're gonna cast the you're gonna pump up the slick shot show off. Yeah, you're gonna go and do your thing. Monstrous rage. Here it comes. And burst lightning. Okay, you're just gonna go to my face. That's fine. No blocks. Rabo might have some fun answers here, so we'll see what happens. Okay, and all of a sudden we're in. Might have to block here. Oh, Godric, you're an interesting one. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, you kill that. Alright, that's fine, whatever. Ah, okay, well. Don't get too ahead of yourself there, kid. Oh, hey, Aerith. Oh. You know what? That is going to be a fun one. Go human. I think we're going to go there. We're going to do that. Boom. We're going to do this. See what they do. Okay, they're going to have to block, so this... Okay. We might be okay here. Raging Battle Mouse. Alright, well. If you insist. Go for it. Ooh, Ley Line of Hope is a cool one. I like this one. A little bit more. I think we might just swing. Just to gain all that life. Are you just gonna, like, rope me here? So that would be totally uncool. Just absolutely totally uncool. Totally uncool. I'm putting this on YouTube, by the way. Yeah, alright, well. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make commentary on it, because you're just gonna... die anyways, especially if you don't block. Well, all right. Who plays Godric anymore? That I remember playing that when Wilds of Eldraine first came out, and I was like, "Ooh, this is actually a really fun card." So yeah, you can see what the Wind Crystal does here. Okay, whatever, kid. I'm putting this all unfiltered on YouTube. Can't accept that mono red is not as viable, I think, as even though I know it won the I did pay enough attention to know that it did win the championship this past weekend. So, you know, bam. All right, I win. And we gain all that life. All right, let's go to the best of 3. Oregon Zadavan. Our best of 3 matchup. I wasn't even going to do a video tonight. I'm glad I did. So I think we go Case of Uneaten Feast into... Maybe Zach Fair or Ajani's Pride? I think Ajani's Pride, mate. I think we just do that. Yeah, I wasn't even going to do a video tonight. I was just like... kind of... Around this time, every summer, I get to a point where, like... I am tired at the end of the day after working summer camp, working with younger kids than what I usually work with in general, and I'm just like, man, I really don't want to do a video, but that's the times when you gotta fight through that and power through, and I'm glad that I did, because that first game, oh please, Zaravan. Let's go. We don't need another roper like we had last time. Okay, we don't need that. Don't need it at all. Thank you. What do we have here? Are you just gonna, like, slow play? Okay, well, there's Najani's Pride Mate, so I think we're okay there. Maybe. What do you have for spot removal at... one? Or what's your instant spell here at 1 that is causing you to do that? It can't be an Najani. It can't be a an Elspeth Smite, because that just doesn't track. And this will also go on YouTube if you're gonna slow play me like this. I'd like to know what you have. Or do you just have your stop set up? Either way, that's kind of garbage, but okay. Whatever works. Then again, I can't judge. Who knows if they're in an area with low internet speed or whatever. Or if they're on mobile and they're just... they don't have their Wi-Fi ready. I don't know. Well, you're playing at least mono white. Dollmaker shop. Oh, okay, interesting. So I think what we do is this. We do... let's do Sheltered by Ghosts. Okay, cool. You put down the Pride Mate, and then the Adventurers in... Now, for Zac Fair, if you're going to play this card, it's only when you sacrifice it that you put the tokens on another legendary. So, okay, cool. It's got Ward 2. You're not going to destroy it. Okay. It's your first... I mean, you're silver, so you can't be that... Gain some life, and then more life. Yeah, I mean, this is just... I mean, if you have split up, that's not going to do you much good. What's this card do again? Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, so, fun. Alright. Well. Yeah, they're like, alright, well, peace. We're dead. I don't know what I change here. I think because of their targeting stuff, I think... yeah, I think we have to keep the authority. I think if anything, we drop the Basri. Should it come to pass. Like, we just drop the Basri. Honestly, this deck really isn't showing off. Well, I mean, the best of one showed off our Aerith, so I think that's worth the price of admission. Absolutely. That was an interesting... And again, I haven't looked at the MTG Pro Tour decks. This is not terrible. So we can put down a Basri, we can put down a Leonin, then we put down the Aerith, and then we Bob's your uncle, and we can start smashing face. So... anyways. Zaravan, if you would be so kind as to pass the turn. I am running out of a voice. I've been yelling at 3rd and 4th graders all day. Just kidding, I haven't been yelling at them at all. But it is very, very hot here in central-ish, southern New England. It's very, very hot for this region. And we usually don't get these types of really hot temperatures frequently. And by Thursday, tomorrow's going to be like 102 degrees. By Friday, it's going to be into the upper 60s. So, you know, the joke is that the creator got into an argument with Mother Nature when making New England. The creator said, you can't, looking at the plans of Mother Nature, it's like, you can't do all 4 seasons in 1 week. Mother Nature said, hold my dunks, I'll do it in 1 day. That's kind of the weather in New England. I might even do... Oh, no, you have to do the Leonin into the Ajani. I think. Well, maybe even the Aerith. I think we do the Aerith instead. Leonin into Aerith Gainsborough. Okay, still doing our mono white. What do you have? My thing is, like, in the last game, Zaravan played Ariat's Lullaby on a creature that had Ward 2, so I don't really know if they're paying attention or if they somehow made it to Silver 4 with, you know, a wing and a prayer, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, I feel like, you know, I may have mentioned this before, but had to do a video tonight because I wanted to fight through that temptation to just fall back and say, no, I'm not going to, you know, do a ton of content creation. I can't keep doing that. I can't keep doing that because, you know, this is too fun a game. I like this set. You know, I didn't play Final Fantasy. I played the first Final Fantasy on, like, Nintendo back in the early 90s when it first came out. And I love that game. Still one of my favorite games of all time. And I really just... Oh, Aven Interrupter, eh? Well, guess what? We are going to do this. Let's see. Now, let's just do this. We won't attack. And then we'll just throw the Pride Mate and a Sheltered by Ghost down. Why would you flash that in on your main phase? You would normally cast this in response to something else. So, I don't know what they were going for here. Cool. Cool story, bro. Alright, you get in. Good for you. It dies. It doesn't die, but it certainly doesn't go away. Or it certainly goes away for a little bit. Oh, okay, cool. I don't know if I want to do that quite yet. Cool. Okay. So let's see, indestructible. Oh, it's just the target creature. Okay, so that goes bye-bye. That's okay. Cool. Might as well. Yeah, okay, you gain life. I just bring you down to 5, and then that happens. So, alright, we'll see what happens. Now I'm guessing you've got some incredible amount of spot removal. Hellish Norn, huh? Oh, hey, fun. That's clever. Dude, I don't understand. Why do you swing in like that? So watch what's gonna happen. I gain life. I'm just gonna swing in with everything that I got. You're either gonna die or you're gonna have to block with your Hellish Norn. I don't quite understand this. But then again, I'm not piloting, I'm not doing what Zaravan is doing, so he's either got to block my Pride Mate. Wow. That's not much better. Okay, whatever. Yeah, you're dead. Fine. Alright, let's go to the post-game analysis. Okay, so you got to see a few cards in action from Final Fantasy that are really, really cool. You got to see Aerithon in action a few times. You didn't get to see the wind. You got to see the Wind Crystal like once towards the end of the towards the end of the best of one. But with these two together, these are actually pretty deadly. Really, really deadly. So overall, this is a really fun deck. Also, you didn't get to see Linden, which is neither here nor there. But anyways, really, really, really fun deck. Love the Lifegain. It's an amazingly fun deck to play, especially if you like to just hammer your opponents with a Sheltered by Ghosts and an Ajani's Pride Mate. These two together are just a match made in hell or heaven if it's us. But the point is that this is a great deck. I'd like to see more Lifegain on the ladder. I understand that, is that prowess, mono, red burn, those sorts of things. Those are the big ones right now. But hopefully we can find some decks to create some variety. And we do have those in the pipeline, which is going to be the next thing I do. I'm actually going to preview a few decks that we're going to do this week. Maybe that will motivate me to get more videos done. But hang around because that's what we're going to do. All right, see you in a bit. Alright, so, I've been inspired to play a few fun-ish decks, craft a few fun-ish decks, so there's a few that I want to get into that I think are, going to be kind of fun. Definitely one that I'm looking to do this week. As you see, we've got a Grixis Wizards build with Vivi on the thing. We've got Ball and Equipment. Actually, let's take a look at this one real quick. But this one's kind of cool. Basically trying to use Cloud to fish for stuff, get our Genji glove in there, and whenever equipped creature attacks, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap it. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So basically trying to pair this off with, say, like a Ball Lightning, just deal some insane amount of damage. Fear of missing out, also we can kind of do some fun stuff with that as well. So that's one deck that we're looking to, actually let's apply the styles. That's one deck I'm looking to do. Naya Yuna, this one's a fun one. This one's kind of cool because we use Yuna's Hope of Spira. Of course, during your turn, Yuna and enchantment creatures you control have Trample, Lifelink, and Ward 2. At the beginning of your end step, return up to one target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. So if we can basically use Joshua and discarding cards and drawing that many cards, as well as his being Phoenix Warden of the Fire, that sort of thing, which is really, really cool. That one's a fun one, it looks like. Fear of missing out also is kind of fun too to have in this build. I think I'm actually going to bump that up to 4, not 3. I think we're going to make that adjustment right now. Do up the beanstalk and then just to add one there, and that works. Okay, so we go back to it. So yeah, this one's kind of a cool one because the goal of this is to ramp into a unit with, like, say, your Llanowar elves and your Overlord of the Hauntwoods, but also get City on Fire down, because if a source you control would deal damage to a permanent player, it deals triple that damage instead. I've never seen this card used, but you can probably resurrect it with Yuna, Hope of Spira. We've got some spot removal, a Tally's Flavor to get in there just to kind of get some stuff going. So we're running a lot of cards with 3 or less, so this one's a good one to have. So that's another fun one I'm looking forward to doing at some point. Bat Yuna's another one. Actually, you know what? I'm not really up on that one. That one's kind of like meh to me right now, but this one's actually kind of cool. Knights of the Round Cage. Obviously, too, we've got our mono green Tifa decks. We've got Odin Golgari, Esper tokens. Simic Mill is an interesting one I might do. Obviously, Boros tokens and mobilizing Sephiroth is a cool one. We'll look at that one next. But basically, Knights of the Round Cage. This one was inspired by Sways. Basically, get your Collector's Cage down with and hopefully hit a Knights of the Round and just start swinging in for a bunch of different stuff. Plus, also Smuggler's Surprise. Put down your Galta. Put down your your Crater Hoof and all that. So this is a really fun. It's kind of clunky, but it's just really, really fun. I actually might do this one later this week because we're in bronze. We don't have a lot to lose. This one's a fun deck to play, so I just got to refine it a little bit. Let's see. Mobilizing Sephiroth is a fun one that I would like to take a look at. Basically, we take Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier. Whenever Sephiroth enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. If this is the 4th time this ability is resolved, transform Sephiroth and it becomes a Sephiroth one-winged angel. With Supernova, flying 5/5, as this creature transforms into Sephiroth, you get an emblem with whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. If you do, draw that many cards. So we're using the Mobilize with our Voice of Victory, Voice of Victory, Avenger of the Fallen, and Nightblade Brigade to kind of help us with that. Also, Zac Fair comes into play a little bit. I think because we're running so many legends, I think that's actually a good play on our part to put that in. Protecting that. We're not running Authority of the Consuls to gain some life. Scavenger's Talent, because whenever one or more creatures you control die, create a food token. It triggers only once each turn for 1 in the black. Whenever you sack a permanent, target player mills 2 cards. And then we can bring stuff back by sacrificing 3 other non-land permanents, and that's great because we're running stuff like, Vengeful Blood Witch, Vran Executioner Thane, Elas Ilkor, Sadistic Pilgrim, those sorts of things. Plus, Elspeth Stormslayer, just as kind of our finisher. So these are all the decks that I'm really looking forward to playing. We've got a few other ones in there too that I think would be good. But basically, I'm going the quirky route. But we'll see what happens. But hopefully, I can't do a video tomorrow because I've got town meeting commitments, which has to come first. I'm an elected official now, believe it or not. So that's pretty cool. But basically, these are the decks I'm looking forward to doing for the rest of this week. Hopefully Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'll get some time to get these done. But that's something to look forward to. Haven't done this part before, so hopefully this will keep me motivated, keep you guys motivated as well to tune in. And I hope you do. If you like what you see, please like, please subscribe. And as always, my magic miscreants, may you always be on the play. May all your spells hit the battlefield. Risen Dragon is out. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Stay cool, kids.